What superhero can you always find participating in a marathon? Iron Man. Hey, you made it to another Comic Book Editions video today. It's great to see you here. I'm going to show you some recent pickups from a comic book and toy show here in town, and we're going to unbox this AOK from my friend Glenn, Seeking Superman, all in Comic Book Editions Volume 118 today. If you're new to my channel and haven't subscribed yet, I hope you'll take this opportunity to do so. Give this video a thumbs up, a heart. It's a great way to show support to the channel, as well as sharing my channel and this video with someone else that you think might be interested in it. Thanks for your support. So it wasn't this past weekend, but it was the weekend before, here in the town that I moved to, that I attended a comic and toy show. And it was fun. There was a lot of great vintage toys and some comic books. Each seller seemed to have something a little bit different. You can probably tell by this video that it was a smaller convention, but sometimes those are the best ones. Although there were more sellers deeper down into the room that you can't see in this video clip. I ended up sticking in budget and picking up just a few books. And those are what we're going to start out today's video by showing. The first thing that I did pick up was an AOK for a friend of mine, so that one I won't be showing today. But when it came to books for my own personal collection, I only snagged a few, but I snagged a few really good ones. For example, Marvel Team-Up number 95. This is the first appearance of Mockingbird, which is awesome. This is a book that I've wanted. I've been a Mockingbird fan since being an original childhood collector. And once again, I kind of did the same thing with the Monica Rambeau Captain Marvel. I thought I had the first appearance and was shocked to find out that I didn't, because I have so many other appearances of Mockingbird. And I know this book really has blown up a lot, especially when the Hawkeye series came out at the end of last year. And a lot of people were speculating that Hawkeye's wife is Mockingbird or will become Mockingbird in a future MCU property. So that book really took off. Now, we had a copy, or we actually do have a copy of this book at the store that I work at, and I've been eyeing it for quite some time. But I didn't pull the trigger on our copy because that one is really high grade. This one fell in line more with my budget. It presents very well, even though it has a little bit of a stain down here, and there's just a little bit of water damage in this area here, but the rest of the book just looks so nice. I'm not sure how much can be done for the water stain with a pressing and a cleaning, but the cleaning should clean up the direct sales Spidey window box some, so that's something I'll probably look at doing into the future. Just happy to have the book finally in my collection though, even though thinking that, I wonder if I've ever passed up this book sometime, in the last several years, just automatically thinking that I had the book. I very well could have done that. So, but now I do, there's no question about it at all. And it makes me happy. And I got this at a price that was really fair for the seller and fair for me and fell into my budget. So that's a thumbs up. Another book that I picked up at this convention as well is one that I've been eyeing for a while. Some Bronze Age Iron Man here. This is issue number 125. Now, this is part of the Demon in a Bottle storyline. If I'm remembering correctly, this is part 6 of that storyline. It's also the 4th appearance of Scott Lang as Antman. And it's our first appearance of Rhodey on an Iron Man cover. So there's a lot of stuff going on in this cover. Not only in the interior do the Avengers make an appearance, but so does Ed Koch. He was the mayor of New York City at the time. So I talked a lot about this last week when I featured this book as the back issue of the week on my YouTube channel. That's a 1-minute short that I love doing. I upload those every Monday. So if you haven't checked those out, I hope you will. It's just fun, kind of a mini quick deep dive into a comic book and why I decided to designate it as the back issue of the week for that week. So make sure to check those out if you haven't yet. I've really been looking for this book. As I said, the Avengers cameo that's in it features Ms. Marvel, Black Lightning Bolt Ms. Marvel, which is my jam too. And I'm really trying to get all of her appearances. I have everything from her own title. I have all her Avengers appearances from this era. Now I'm just working on a couple stuff that turns out to be cameos, usually with her as an Avengers member in other books, and this is one that I needed. And the price on this has kind of gone up in the last 2 years as well. So I figured if I didn't snag this pretty quick, it might get out of my comfortable reach of what I want to spend for a copy of this, and I didn't want that to happen. So when I saw the opportunity to pick this up within budget, I said, yeah, I think this is the time to do it. So one more book that I picked up at this comic show that I'm going to share with you. Got some DC love going on with some Silver Age Nick Cardy Aquaman. Now last year, I ended up picking up The Wedding between Aquaman and Mera. And when I was trying to decide, because I didn't have any Silver Age Aquaman in my collection at that time, when I was trying to decide which book I wanted to get, and I knew I wanted to get something Silver Age Aquaman for my collection. I was trying to decide which one I'm going to get, and I went between issue 18, which is The Wedding of Aquaman and Mera, and this issue, which is issue 30, because it's an awesome cover and also has the Justice League guest starring there. I went back and forth over which one should I put, which one should I get, which one should I kind of flip-flop between 18 and 30, ended up getting 18, but I knew at some point I'd want to get 30. And quite honestly, this book and the other two that I showed you today, all were candidates to show up on my 2023 top 12 goal list. So just knocking those out ahead of time, I guess, which is a good feeling in itself. Just fun stuff, cool cover there. I am wondering, oh, I guess Hawkman does have a breathing apparatus right underneath his beak mask. So, okay. Just a good cover. Strict cover by there. So something else to enjoy. And we all know Nick Cardy's a legend and did some awesome work in his career. So those are the books that I picked up at that little comic and toy show, not this past weekend, but the weekend before, and I wanted to share those with you. We're going to turn our attention now to my AOK from my friend Glenn. Now, Glenn is on Instagram. You can find him as Seeking Superman, and I left a link for his Instagram in the description for this video, so make sure to follow him over on the IG. He puts out such great content, and I love the passion that he has, especially for a character. You know, collecting Superman is not an easy thing to do. It's not, I mean, how practical is it too? You would have to devote so much money to be able to do that. So from a person who collects another iconic character, I understand what that's like, even though I think with Superman and Batman, those collectors I feel worse for in terms of how much money they have to spend to get their fix and keep collecting their hobby, especially if they're completists like I am. But getting back to the point of Glenn, he has such passion and it comes out in his posts, and I love dialoguing with him. I love seeing what he has to add to the conversation and seeing his posts, and I learn stuff, and that makes it not only for a great collector, but for a great friend as well. He made this very generous offer because he went to Heroes Con in South Carolina, and he said, you know, I'm going to get some signatures. If there's something that you want me to get signed for, you just send it down and I'll take care of it. So I put two books together in hopes of getting 4 signatures. And I put a little money in there too for the signatures, and so he could be able to send this back. And the day after I mailed it out to him, one of the guests that I wanted, Jose Garcia-Lopez, canceled. And two of those 4 signatures that I wanted were of him. So that was kind of a bummer. By the way, some people have told me that Garcia-Lopez is charging almost like Neil Adams prices for his signatures at cons. Do you know if that's true or not? I'm hoping it's not, because $50 for a signature just isn't in my budget. I'm going to quickly put you into fast forward mode and open this up, but when we do, there's going to be one book in there that was intended for Garcia-Lopez to sign that didn't get signed, that got returned. But we'll deal with that after you come out of fast forward mode. Okay, so one thing that I want to say before I even look at these books too, because I want this to be on the record. Glenn, I didn't want you to think that I didn't care about this AOK because it took me so long to get it opened. What had happened was, and this is no fault of Glenn's at all, he didn't even know this. At the time that he mailed this back to me, I was in the process of moving. as you know, my new job and everything, that opportunity came up very fast in my life. And it arrived at my old address, which I wasn't worried about because I knew someone was there to snag my mail for me. It arrived at my old address, which was perfectly fine because I had planned on going back the following weekend to pick up some more stuff. I never ended up making that trip back. Some things changed. So I didn't make it back to get that stuff. So it sat for like an extra 5 weeks maybe? Something like that. So Glenn, I didn't want you to think it's not because I didn't care or I wasn't appreciative of you getting these signatures for me. Life just got so super busy at that time. So I want you to know that. I want you to know how much I appreciate the offer and you taking care of that for me. So I'm going to open up, where am I going to start at? So, okay. Let's start with the one. Okay. This is the one. You might have saw I got an extra one and talked about it in a comic book editions video not that long ago. I got it with the intention of hopefully getting Jose Garcia-Lopez to sign it. It's Wonder Woman number 230, one of my favorite Wonder Woman covers, one of my favorite Wonder Woman Cheetah covers too. So that's the one I was hoping to get signed. He canceled, didn't know he canceled until the day after I sent the package out. So no problems, no worries. But what we have here is an update. And I'm going to take the postie off so you can appreciate the gorgeousness of this cover without any interference. Oh, this is sweet. So you might remember this book that was AOK to me from my friend and Fanboys Live co-host Tony Fett. And Tony had gotten it signed for me last year by Becky Cloonan, Doc Shaner, and Amy Reeder. And this was at the Baltimore Comic-Con of last year. Well, I sent it to Glenn in hopes to get a couple more signatures on, which he did for me. So we have Stephanie Phillips. Stephanie Phillips did, she was a writer in one of the stories in this book. So that signature is on there. And then, looks like right here, we added a second signature in there too, which is awesome. Daniel Warren Johnson, I believe. And he did a pinup, one of the several pinups in this issue. So that is so sweet. Now, I might try to con my friend Tony into sending this over to Tony and seeing if he'll take it back to Baltimore Comic-Con this year. And I do believe Jose Garcia-Lopez is there this year. As long as he's not charging those Neil Adams prices for a signature, maybe we can get something done and seeing if he can get some more for me and really work on this project. But if not, that's okay too. But Glenn, thank you for doing that. Thank you for offering that option to me because I wouldn't have these signatures without you. And I love this book and I want to get this book as full of signatures, as many as I can. And you've helped do that as we've added another 2. We got 5 signatures on the book already. So this is actually a cool book too. It came out last year, almost a year ago, to celebrate Wonder Woman's 80th anniversary. It's just a one-shot. And this is the 80s variant cover that was done by Travis Moore. Awesome. So very happy. I hope you had a fantastic time at Heroes Con, Glenn. From what you've told me, it sounded like you certainly did. I can't thank you enough for your friendship, for thinking of me, for offering this to me. And once again, I apologize so much for taking so long in opening this, but I wanted to film it and I wanted to get it here documented on my YouTube channel in the Comic Book Editions video. So thank you for being patient with me. It definitely was not a reflection of how I felt about your generous contribution of getting this stuff signed for me. And because that's work too. I mean, it takes time away from the convention for him. Plus he's got to mail it back to me and that's work and a hassle in itself. Thank you for doing that for me. I really appreciate it. So that brings us to the end of today's Comic Book Editions video. Leave me a comment below. Let me know if you're an autograph collector. If you are, if you have any of those creators' autographs in your collection, I'd love to know that. You can let me know which cover was your favorite or if any of the other books I showed are ones that you have in your collection as well. We can dialogue about all of that and more in the comment section below, as your comments are welcomed, appreciated, and encouraged. So thanks for making it to the end of this Comic Book Editions video. I've recently bought a slab. That's something I don't do very often, so I'll be showing that off along with other pickups and additions into my collection soon here on my YouTube channel, Be looking for that. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Take care.